This is CBC Here and Now.
Staying safe. I'll tell you what firefighters and CBS are doing to prevent cancers. Coming up on Here and Now.
A culinary classic in Corner Brook for nearly 30 years. The famous Sorrento restaurant is closing.
Seems like all our customers became our closest friends. All employees, previous and current, our family.
We'll talk to the owner and find out what's next for this building. That's tonight on Here and Now.
Last night it was hockey. Tonight they're playing basketball down here at the Mary Brown Center. I'm going to update you on the Growlers and the Row coming up later on the show.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. We begin tonight with one of the biggest dangers firefighters face. It isn't from the flames, but the smoke. Fire crews are at risk for developing all kinds of cancers, but in Conception Bay South, the department is making changes to prevent that from happening. Here and Now's Mark Quinn reports.
Dangerous job, and the immediate risks are clear, but sometimes there's more subtle damage that might take time to manifest.
The statistics that we know that, cancer is certainly the number one sort of occupational illness disease that affects the fire service.
There are more than 6,000 volunteer and career firefighters in this province, and since 2017, 36 of them have been compensated for cancers developed on the job. CBS Fire Captain Richard Hines has seen it happen to colleagues in this province and the Maritimes.
It was time for a change to better protect our members.
For years, they fought for and have won better compensation for firefighters who get cancer. Now, the CBS Fire Department is working on changes to prevent cancers from developing. Hines says his crew now has better clothes to reduce exposures to carcinogens.
We've upgraded the arms as well with a petroleum and particulate blocking package.
At CBS Fire Station 1, an elaborate ventilation system attached to vehicles with magnets ensures that no one working in the station breathes in exhaust. This station's also started using an alternative to this, the foam that's traditionally been used to fight fires, but is now believed to cause cancer.
So the apparatus behind us is the first one in the province that has been outfitted with what we refer to now as a wetting agent or an encapsulant versus a foam.
Heffernan says the new agent is biodegradable and safe for wildlife. He hopes that all three of the station's big trucks will be using this by the end of 2023. Crews have also changed what they do after a fire. They work together to scrub down gear and then shower any clothes that might be carrying dangerous materials.
We're really trying to eliminate any of those products and or substances that we may have direct contact with that, could kind of be a catalyst for cancer.
This station has been recognized as a leader in the area of illness prevention. In fact, they get calls from fire stations in other parts of the country looking for advice. Heffernan hopes that all the work they're doing here will help his colleagues stay healthy. Mark Quinn, CBC News, Conception Bay South.
Well, still with health-related news, the province is offering cash to nurse practitioners willing to work with family care teams and rural emergency departments. $20,000 to $40,000 is up for grabs for those who commit to working in a family care team for 1 year, with the option to extend the incentive for a second year. The amount of money depends on the location. An extra $10,000 is available to those who do advanced airway management training and provide coverage in rural emergency departments known as Category B. That incentive is also renewable after a year. The province has 5 family care teams in place. 9 are being developed, with 10 more to be set up in the coming year.
Temperatures a little chilly today for parts of the province, particularly along the northeast coast, into the single digits. Twillingate 3 degrees, 5 in Boniface, 9 in St. John's today. If you wanted some warmth, you had to go to Nain. It was 16 degrees today in Nain. In fact, Lab City, you also saw a similar temperature. All the heat up across Labrador, but we do have some of those temperatures into the double digits along the south coast of the island and in Stephenville, 12 degrees today. Now, with those single-digit temperatures, you're wondering maybe through Central, why you were hearing rumbles of thunder. So we saw some move through. Most of them, though, have headed offshore at the moment. And I don't really see too much in behind that. So we just had some instability. The upper levels of the atmosphere were a lot warmer than what was happening at the surface, and that's why we saw those thunderstorms this afternoon. Now, as we head through the next couple of days, we are looking at some unsettled conditions. The potential for snow certainly in the forecast overnight tonight for some areas. We're going to watch this next one, though. This is the next area of low pressure that will move in as we head into the beginning of next week. This one, lots of cold air wrapping around it. We could see some snow for parts of the northern peninsula and parts of central as well. I'll break the entire forecast down for you coming up.
Snow. Wow. Okay, moving on. The province is getting a few $millions to help target gun violence in this province. Today, the government says it's not sure how the money will be spent, but $3.5 million will be allotted over 5 years. Now, that money is likely going to be used by police forces in the province in operations that target guns and gangs. It could end up being used for equipment or to provide extra human resources.
It's anticipated that this funding will be used for crime prevention, to increase police capacity to respond and investigate serious incidents involving gun and gang violence through training activities and the purchase of equipment, as well as continuing to support communities and organizations that offer gun and gang violence prevention services.
Well, the trial for a Newfoundland lawyer accused of sexual assault has been delayed to next year. Robert Regular's trial was scheduled to begin on Monday, but that's changed now. It's now on the docket for April of 2024. Now to Corner Brook, where a culinary landmark is closing. Sorrento restaurant offered European-style cuisine for more than 2 decades, but it's time for its vibrant owner to retire. Here Now's Colleen Connors has her story.
Sorrento Restaurant, or Sorrento's, as the locals call it. Famous for its gourmet pizza, salad, and fresh pasta. A favorite, the chicken tetrazzini.
It's just the taste, and it's just a delicious meal.
Debbie Pike gets the same dish every time she comes here, and has for the past 20 years.
I think it's a staple. I think, it's a nice place to sit back and relax and have a good meal.
Which is all because of this woman, Liliana Zahanov. She and her husband Stoyan, or Stoby, moved to Corner Brook in 1995 and started with a small pizza shop on Broadway, but soon needed to expand. Sorrento opened in 2001.
But Stoby really liked that song, Come Back to Sorrento, and sort of suggests that it's pizza, pasta.
Pasta was not always the plan for the Zahanovs. They fled Bulgaria in the early 90s, claiming refugee status in Gander when their plane stopped for fuel.
And start our lives from all over, again, from the beginning.
In Bulgaria, Stoby designed forklifts, trucks, and cars. Lily, a photographer.
And we used to entertain a lot. Our house was always full with friends and cooking, and that's how the idea came about. A restaurant.
Sorrento was the most popular spot in the city, providing flavors that were new to Corner Brook palates.
So a lot of people didn't know where Sofia or Bulgaria was back then, years ago. They always asked, is it a part of Russia?
So, after a flourishing career, it's time to say goodbye. Stoby passed away from cancer 10 years ago. And after 28 years of running the business, she is ready for retirement.
It's bittersweet. It was a great experience. Seems like all our customers became our closest friends. All employees, previous and current, our family.
Well, Zahanov is planning on celebrating her retirement on Saturday and officially closing Sorrento. This building is not closing for good. A local prominent chef is going to come into this space and make it his own. Adam Bishop says demolition starts Monday, knocking down some walls and building a patio garden.
The menu will be Market Bistro, so we're going to do a little bit of everything. So we have the ability, we have 100% freedom to choose all kinds of cuisines, from Thai food to American to Chinese to Italian to French, a little bit of everything.
By later this summer, guests and food will once again fill this building, but without the sign and the chicken tetrazzini. It'll start a new life as Park West. Colleen Connors, CBC News, Corner Brook.
Well, now to some sports news. The Newfoundland Rogues season is winding down with another game against the Lebanon Leprechauns tonight. The team is battling for their playoff position, riding a red-hot 5-game winning streak. And once again, our Jeremy Eaton is down at the Mary Brown Centre. So, Jeremy, last night it was hockey. Tonight it's basketball. It's a busy time for you and for the staff at the stadium. How are things looking down there so far tonight?
Well, the doors just opened a couple minutes ago, Carolyn, so some of the fans are starting to come in for this game. We're just going to get out of the way of the players here real quick. So basically, they're just doing a few warm-ups here down at Mile 1, getting ready for the second of a 3-game series against the Lebanon Leprechauns. But last night, this building was sorry, we just got to move out of the way. We didn't think that they were going to shift over so quick. So, but last night, things were a bit of a buzz. John, can you roll the highlight reel from last night?
Poland to the goal, Taconic scores! Johnny Taconic! The Growlers win it in overtime! They tie the series!
So as you saw last night, the Newfoundland Growlers came up with a huge overtime victory with just a few seconds remaining in overtime last night. They popped a goal in, winning the game, tying the series at 2 games. Now this is a best of 7 series, so by getting this win last night, that puts them in a good position. So now your 4 out of 7 series now becomes the best 2 out of 3. So the Growlers have to win 2 games of the next 3 that will be played here. And the next game that is going to be played here at the Mary Brown Centre will be on Sunday. So when you're talking about going from basketball, so hockey on Thursday night, basketball on Friday and Saturday night, and back to hockey on Sunday, that's a lot of work for the crews here. So what happens? A while ago, one of our colleagues popped down to show the transition, and I think the tape is rolling there now in the background. But as you can see, they have to cover up the ice surface underneath our feet, and then they put the hardwood floor on top of it where the basketball players are standing right now. So it takes a few hours to make this transition. So like I said, so the Growlers played Thursday, the Rogues are playing tonight, they're playing again tomorrow, and then it goes back to the Growlers on Sunday afternoon. So it'll be a busy time here for staff as they transition from hockey to basketball, back to hockey. Now, as for the Rogues, Danny, can we just turn around here? We'll try not to get hit with any basketballs. But the Rogue here they're getting Rogue. There's Jonathan saying hello, the boys. This is local boy Daniel. Daniel, do you want to say hi to our TV audience?
Hello, how you doing?
Daniel Fu, Corner Brook.
Corner Brook doesn't play. Come out and see the game.
Come out and see the game. How excited are you for the game tonight?
Oh, we've been looking forward to this a long time. Closing out now, looking for that playoff push. So
now you've been with the team for a couple of games. How does it feel to be playing in your home province for this team?
It's great. It's great to be able to represent the hometown. You know, St. John's and Newfoundland. A lot of support, so it's great. It's a great feeling. Very humble.
Now, I know that you're trying to warm up, so sorry for taking your time. But you had a big game last night. Tell our TV audience what your stat line was, Daniel.
I don't worry about the stats, more so worried about the win.
I know. You won the game by more than 50 points, but how did you do on a personal note?
I had 20 points, more so plus minus 34 is more so what I'm looking for on the stat sheet, not more concerned about the stats. As long as we get the win. Staying ready on the bench.
Well, us who followed you playing at Memorial University, very proud of you. Congrats on the 20 points. Good luck tonight. Corner Brook's very own Daniel Fu. As you can see, the team is pretty loose here. The last game against the Leprechauns, they won by more than 50 points, so they're hoping for maybe a closer game tonight. Now, the playoff picture is starting to shape up, but I don't really know a lot about it because it's pretty confusing, so we're going to chat to somebody from the Rogues later on in the show who's going to explain how this is going to work going forward. Reporting live from the Mary Brown Centre, I'm Jeremy Eaton for Here and Now.
Oh my goodness. Well, staying with sports, it might not seem like baseball playing weather in the metro area, but that's not stopping a massive tournament series from getting underway. The St. John's Minor Baseball Association School Tournament Series is back with more than 1,500 players and 100 teams. The first of 6 tournaments got underway this week. Have a look.
So we're starting our yearly school tournaments. So we have 6 different tournaments that we do over the month of May and June. And we have tournaments for boys and girls from ages about 10 all the way up to 18. So we started the school tournaments probably way back in about 2008, I'm going to say. And we started with the Jeff Walsh tournament, which is still our biggest and most popular tournament. And it's grown from there. So it's been great to kind of expand that and get the girls involved, and also all the way up to grade 12. I would say we're on about 15 years now. Part of the reason we started doing them was to introduce kids to the sport of baseball and try to drive our registration. So it's been really popular, really well received, and we're really thankful for all the schools that participate. So we unfortunately weren't able to do a school tournaments for a couple of years, so we just brought them back last year. So it was kind of like a reintroduction. So this year we've had an explosion of the number of teams registered, which was great. And we're, getting back into the normal routine. Our registration numbers have been really increased over the last 2 or 3 years. So we're looking forward to another great season. So we have over 100 teams, so it's a lot of dealing with different schools. Yeah, it's busy time of year. We're also trying to pick our all-star teams and get our summer season going. So busy time of year, but we're excited to be back on the field.
It's a lot of fun because I know most of the guys on my team, and it's just nice to know everyone. Have fun with your buddies.
Oh, it's really fun. So you ever know everyone, and you've been spent all year together, and we've been talking about it, so now we're playing now. It's a lot of fun.
A lot of our programs are based on how many people we can get to participate, so that the fact that we're able to offer female and male programming separate to each other now is great driver for the female program, and also just to get the kids out active, participating for their school and getting to wear their school uniforms and helping boost our registration numbers is a great weekend.
Looks really nice. Thank you very much. Thank you. An act of kindness, and a much bigger act of kindness. We'll tell you about the Lonely Bouquet campaign that's coming up on Here and Now.
This weather update is brought to you by the Healthcare Foundation Home Lottery. The absolute final deadline is midnight Friday, June 2nd. Order tickets now at hcfhomelottery.ca.
Well, before we get to the forecast, last night, Ashley, you told us about a major conference happening next week in St. John's. It's called Reconnecting on the Rock, and it's being hosted by CMOS.
Yeah, that's right. And they're the Canadian Meteorological and Oceanographic Society. And I'll be taking part. It's a mouthful, yeah. So I'll be taking part. I'll be bringing you some stories from there throughout the week. But I'm also co-hosting an event on Sunday. Nice. And here's Jim Abraham once again to tell you a little bit more about it.
We're actually bringing in experts in climate change communication from the Conservation Corps of Newfoundland, Labrador, and we're bringing in some emergency management experts to really broaden out the conversation around what can we do ourselves and what can we do in our communication to the public to actually do a better job so that the public take the kind of action that they need to take in the face of more extreme weather.
And so I am co-hosting that panel, and that happens on Sunday. So can you tell us and everybody, if you'd like to participate, how to do that?
Well, that's really fun. It's Sunday afternoon starting at 2 o'clock at the Sheraton. We're inviting the public here on the Avalon Peninsula to come in and meet their meteorologist. The meteorologist and the emergency managers are going to be discussing extreme weather, what the public can do about it, not only in the short term when there's a warning issued, but also in the long term. How can I make my property and my community more resilient? 2 o'clock at the Sheraton on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be great. I think we're going to have lots of fun. But if you'd like some more information, you have to register for Sunday's event if you would like to attend. And you can do that by heading to the website, cmos-scmo.ca.
Right there
That's
on
right there on
your
your
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like it's going to be fun. A lot of enthusiastic people about weather.
Oh, yes.
Well, so meet your meteorologist. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to be a great time. We'll talk all about extreme weather, which is, something we may be talking about a lot more in the future.
Yeah, especially now we're back in hurricane season. You were talking about last night.
June 1st, yeah.
Yeah, my goodness.
Yeah.
All right. So we're heading into the weekend. Weather's not great. It's not great.
It's not great today. It is going to improve as we head through the weekend, but there is some snow in the forecast for some of us. I know it is the end of May. I'm so sorry that I even had to say that. But let's take a look at what's going on out there today. So temperatures, only into the single digits. That is well below where we should be sitting this time of year. 5 degrees in Bonavista. Vista. You should be sitting around 13, 14, even 15 degrees. All of that warmth is up across Labrador. Lab City at 16, same thing for Nain. And then temperatures into the double digits pretty much across the Big Land. So right now we've got an area of low pressure. We do have those thunderstorms that rolled through earlier today. Those are well offshore now. Just looking at the chance of some showers pretty much as we head through the night tonight, and there's been some fog patches out there for a good chunk of the day. In fact, earlier today you couldn't see outside the harbor cam here, but the fog has let up a little bit. Those temperatures around 9 degrees, winds light and variable at the moment, currently out of the west at 7 kilometers per hour, but the bigger picture is that those winds are generally out of the southwest. So here's a look at the visibilities. Up to 9.7 kilometers at the St. John's Airport, down to 2 in Gander, 2 kilometers at the moment. And as we head through the night tonight, we are going to see some fog patches continuing for the most part. Other than that, they're just looking at lots of cloud cover and the potential for some drizzle as well out there. But like I said, you can see some of the texture in the cloud cover showing us that there are some showers around, even though we're not seeing that on the radar. And we'll continue to see those showers as we head through to the overnight period tonight, especially along southeastern portions of Labrador, Northern Peninsula as well. And some cold air is going to start to work into that. So that means higher elevations further inland will likely pick up a couple of centimeters. 2 to 5 is certainly possible through the overnight. And then we'll see that on the west coast as well. Only if you're in the higher elevations. Towards the surface, that will fall as rain. But again, you could pick up a couple centimeters. Temperatures overall will be sitting above zero right across the board, 1 to 5 degrees. The warmest will be in the east, but the winds won't be very much at all tonight either. Just along coastal areas of Labrador, you'll see those winds gusting about as high as 50 kilometers per hour. So like I said, as far as snowfall totals are concerned, now 5 to 10, but you're probably going to be closer to the 5 centimeter mark, I should say, and mainly into those higher elevations and then along the west coast as well. Significantly less, but that risk is still there. And then as far as showers are concerned, we're talking about the potential for about 10 to 20 millimeters of rain for southeastern Labrador and the northern peninsula. Next system moving in, going to bring some snow to coastal areas of Labrador by Sunday, and then that is going to work its way towards the northern peninsula as we get into Monday. So it looks like it could be quite stormy, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. We'll stick with the weekend for now. There's that potential for some snow, like I said, in the first half of tomorrow. That will move off. And then clearing actually as we head into Sunday. More showers will work their way across the Big Land. Eventually we'll see those showers towards the west coast and central as we head into the afternoon hours on Sunday. But it's not looking overly bad for the weekend. Once we say goodbye to those showers, it actually looks pretty nice. So tomorrow's forecast will stay cool across the island, mild in Lab City. In fact, that is the hot spot, 18 degrees tomorrow. So if you want to find summer, that's where you'll go through the afternoon tomorrow. Temperatures for Happy Valley Goose Bay will sit around 12. But look what happens as we head into Sunday, which is where the nice weather will be. So 16, 17, 18 degrees moving back in. So the end of the weekend looking nice. But again, we're still looking unsettled for the northern peninsula and southeastern Labrador. This is when we'll start to get into some of the stormy weather, especially towards the evening and overnight. We'll talk about that when I come back.
I'm at the St. John's Women's Centre on Cashin Avenue, and something special is happening here, so let's find out. So what is going on here with all these flowers?
What's happening here is we've got a group from the Floral Design Group and the Newfoundland Horticultural Society and some friends. They got together and we're making 300 bouquets. But we've been doing it now for about 6 years now, and so it's a beehive of activity here. You can see the arrangements being made.
This is a nice surprise for people, right? Because you don't even know who's going to get these.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's a card on each of the bouquets, which invites them to take a picture of where they found it and also carry through the journey of sharing the story with us, where they found the bouquet, and maybe tell us a little bit about if it made a difference in their life that day.
Right. There are people here, obviously you've got volunteers, and there are volunteers who've come here to do this today, and you've got other people here at the Women's Centre who are a part of this. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I've done quite a bit of volunteer work at the Women's Centre and so appreciate all the work they do. This afternoon there'll be probably about a dozen women and non-binary folks that'll be downstairs, and we'll work together with them and show them how to put together the bouquets. And what's nice is that they have an opportunity to give back to the community. We do lots of workshops with them, the Floral Design Group does. And they get to take those flowers home, but this is sort of different, and it makes them feel good and that they're giving back to the community. So tomorrow they'll be dropped off to various places around the city, non-for-profits, and long-term care facilities and park benches and bus stops. And so for people that are unexpectedly passerbys look at a bouquet and it says, "Oh, take me home, take these flowers home and enjoy them." So yeah, it's a great project.
What do you and the other volunteers here enjoy about being part of this? Because obviously 300 bouquets is a lot.
300 bouquets is a lot, but it's such a rewarding experience. You know, some of the replies that you get on Facebook or Twitter or on email, some of them are so heartwarming. They fill your heart, but some of them are heartbreaking too. You know, some of them are really sad stories, and some of them are really happy stories. And flowers bring a smile to everybody's face, and when words fail, flowers fill in for that. You know, they speak volumes. So. Well,
listen, I want to get out of your way. You've got a lot of work to do. Good luck with the deliveries, and thank you very much.
Oh, thanks so much. It's our pleasure.
geographic distance has impacted your chance of having a child with someone else from another community, but also if they share or do not share that religion, has also had a major effect on shaping the genetic landscape of Newfoundland.
Exploring our strong Irish roots, that special undiluted DNA. Why an Irish researcher has teamed up with a local company to learn more. Well, Newfoundland and Labrador is often referred to as the most Irish place outside of Ireland, and new research takes a deep dive into the DNA of that connection between the two islands. The study looks at the genetic profiles of about 1,800 Newfoundlanders, and among the findings is an interesting trend within the Catholic and Protestant denominations. And spoiler alert, the two groups didn't mingle much. But turns out that undiluted genetic pool provides helpful information for medical research today. Joining me now to explain more is Dr. Ed Gilbert with the RCSI University of Medicine and Health Sciences in Dublin, and Lynn Healy, who is with Sequence Bio here in St. John's. So Lynn, let's start with you. This study was a collaboration. Can you start by telling us how this came about and why the study was done?
Absolutely. Thanks, Carolyn. The collaboration between Sequence Bio and RCSI was really structured and designed to better understand the genetic makeup of our population and the origin of health-related genetic variants. The study builds on the great local research that had already been started by some academics, particularly within Memorial University, and it is the most detailed genetic analysis of people living in the province to date. So, why it's important, the study has really substantially expanded our understanding of the genetics of the Newfoundland and Labrador population. And that's important because it can help genetic mapping efforts in the province to better understand how some genes contribute to the risk and severity of certain diseases.
So Ed, there were some interesting discoveries in this study. Can you talk about some of the main takeaways?
Yeah, sure. So what we found was that there are specific genetic communities that are located around the coastline of Newfoundland. We know that these fishing villages were formed from settlers coming from these ports in the southeast of Ireland around Wexford and Waterford. And then within England, we know that the fishermen were coming from large ports such as Plymouth in the southwest. And when we trace these ancestries back, it does look like the people that got on those boats and ended up in Newfoundland and Labrador from Britain and Ireland were indeed people around those villages and those ports in Ireland and Britain. This wasn't a case of people from all over Ireland were being funneled through these ports in the southeast of Ireland. It was actually the people just living around the ports that realized that there was this great fishing opportunity and this living opportunity within Newfoundland. So we found that out. And then the last point, we investigated the effect of that journey, the effect that there's been a relatively small number of individuals from Ireland and from England who made it their way to Newfoundland, set up these outports, these fishing communities, and then that has left this trace that we call a founder effect. So a founder effect, genetically speaking, is it describes a population at some point in their history where their descendants are a very small number of people. And so this creates a sort of bottleneck of genetic variation. The effect of this bottleneck is that there are variation that is normally quite rare in large populations, but has become slightly more frequent in the Newfoundland population.
I mentioned off the top about this religious divide that was here socially, but also turns out genetically. Can you talk more about that?
What we've seen is that these communities within Newfoundland are mostly of either Irish or mostly of either English ancestry. And then when we look at the religious denomination of the individuals who are in those communities today, we see that predominantly their background is Catholic for those Irish ancestry clusters and Protestant for those English ancestry clusters. Now that is relatively expected if Irish and English ancestry remain separate. So when we look at the genetic difference between people that are of the same denomination, that genetic distance is much lower than those who are different religious denomination. So in Newfoundland, geographic distance has impacted your chance of having a child with someone else from another community, but also if they share or do not share that religion, has also had a major effect on shaping the genetic landscape of Newfoundland.
So, and even to this day, right, there's still that stratification, I guess you could say, with the genetics between the denominations.
Yeah, I guess so in the most recent generations that is disappearing away, but even with the individuals and the participants who've taken part in the Newfoundland and Labrador Genome Project, we can still see that signal. So it's only started to those walls between those different denominations have only started to erode very recently, and that was one of the worries when we started, right? That there's this. We know that historically there's been this divide, but does it still exist? And surprisingly, it does, even when we sample individuals today.
Can you talk more about what Sequence Bio is doing in terms of learning more about the variants that could lead to genetic diseases in this province?
From a Sequence Bio perspective, what we plan to do is really use the collaboration and the work that stemmed from this paper to inform the design of future disease-specific research that we intend to undertake. It's certainly well known the higher prevalence of certain inherited disorders and disease indications in this province. Our work can help researchers understand why and potentially help in the creation of new and better medicines for conditions that affect people right here in our home province, as well as around the world. So our ability to have an impact on that is incredibly powerful.
Well, it's certainly an interesting study. Lynn Healy and Dr. Ed Gilbert, thank you so much for this. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for the time, Carolyn. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you again. It's been a pleasure. Yeah.
Well, you're looking at a live shot from the Mary Brown Centre in downtown St. John's, where the Rogues are about 20 minutes away from tip-off. We're checking in with Jeremy Eaton one last time before the big game. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Here and Now. Jeremy down here at the Mary Brown Centre getting ready for the Rogues game against the Lebanon Leprechauns. But not too long ago, we caught up with some eager fans who are here to check out the game. Check this out. What are you doing here at the Rogues game?
Here for my birthday.
And how old are you turning today, Jaden?
12.
So why did you want to come down and see the Newfoundland Rogues play?
Because I like basketball and hanging out with my friends.
I understand you have a box. Have you ever experienced a basketball game up here in the box? And how's it treating you so far?
Very good.
How excited are you to be able to see the action from all the way up here?
Very excited. It looks cool.
Looks cool?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite player on the Newfoundland Rogues?
Armani.
Armani, I believe they call him. So we're just about, 15 minutes away from tip-off here against the Lebanon Leprechauns, but joining to us is somebody that we haven't spoken to yet on the news, DeAndre McIntyre. Welcome to the show.
Hey, nice to be here.
So DeAndre, you're the captain of the Newfoundland Rogues. You had a big win on Wednesday night. What do you think is going to happen here tonight down at Mile 1? Sorry, the Mary Brown Center.
We want the same thing. We want the same results. Down to the wire. We need these last two wins to solidify third place in the playoffs.
So you had a big win. It was a bit of a blowout there on Wednesday night. Are you expecting the Leprechauns to come out with a little more fire tonight to try to even this series up?
Yes, so I definitely think they're going to come out and play a little harder because Wednesday night was kind of embarrassing. So I would expect them to come out and play 3 times harder than what they did last Wednesday.
So this is there's a game tonight and there's a game tomorrow night. These are 2 important games. Well, let's talk about the playoffs. It's a little bit confusing. You explained it to me earlier, but could you just sort of break down where the Rogues sit now and how the playoffs will work, DeAndre?
Okay, so right now we're currently in 3rd place. So first round of the playoffs is a play-in game, which is a win or must win or go home. You lose, you go home. So if we win in advance, we'll move on to the division championship, which is the round of 3, game 3 series. So for the rest of the playoffs, it'll be game of 3 for the rest of the playoffs.
So does that make it, is there extra pressure on you, I guess, during these 2 games to try to get 2 big wins to go into that 1-game playoff?
It's no pressure. I mean, we just come out and play rogue basketball, do what we do, have fun, and just hope we come out with it. Well, not hope, but we will come out victorious.
Now, we haven't met you here before on the news. Where are you from?
I'm from St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis, Missouri. First time in Newfoundland and Labrador?
Yes, sir, it is.
What's the season been like? What's your experience been like over the last couple of months, DeAndre?
Season's been fun, actually, man. I love the people here. I love the scenery with all the snow. When I first got here in February, it was negative 28 degrees outside. Did not bring the type of clothing. I was not prepared for this, but since I've been here, man, I fell in love with the people, man. I love it here. Definitely want to come back next year for season 2. It's different out here for sure, though.
Well, I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for your time. I know you got a game to play. Thanks, DeAndre. DeAndre McIntyre, the captain of the Newfoundland Rogues, hoping for a big win tonight. And tomorrow night, the team is playing Friday and Saturday night, and then that's the end of the regular season until the playoffs kick off. So reporting live for Here and Now, I'm Jeremy Eaton down at the Mary Brown Center.
Good luck to the Newfoundland Rogues tonight. Well, a woman from St. John's will soon be battling it out on a reality baking show. Jessica Brennan usually bakes for friends and family, but she decided on a whim to apply for CTV's cross-country cake-off. She swung by the St. John's Morning Show studio today for a chat with Ariana Kelland.
Cake makers, it's bake time.
It's been a hard secret to keep for a while now.
How did you get on the show?
I was just scrolling social media one day and I saw the ad and I thought, why not? I was on maternity leave. I was baking anyway. I love to bake, so I just thought I would send in an audition tape.
It's bake time.
I want you to give me a lesson. You show me how you do it and kind of explain the process while you're doing it.
Sure. So today we just have some Newfoundland Salt Company salted caramel cupcakes, and I made the buttercream, which is colored only with blueberry puree, so it's all natural. I just brought some different tips to do some fun designs. So we'll just start doing a rosette in the middle. Would you like to start with a big flower in the middle?
So you're just going in a circle.
Yeah, just like a flower, and give a little squeeze, and then we're gonna
squeezing.
Yeah.
Okay, why isn't it coming out? Okay, wait.
Yeah.
This way? What's the proper way?
At the top, and as much pressure as you can.
Okay. Maybe I'm just really weak.
No, you're not.
No?
It's full of butter. No, it's all good.
Okay. Are you being nice?
No, well, no, it looks great. You're doing great. Is it your first time?
She's lying.
I'm not lying. You're doing great.
Do you have any tips for people who may feel intimidated by this and they want to start, say you want to bake your son's birthday cake. Mm-hmm. What suggestions do you have?
I think just start small. You're not going to start your first day using fondant or techniques. But for me, I just literally Found a recipe online, Google simple chocolate cake, and that's where I started. And my first cake was neon blue, totally off kilter, totally not smooth. But that's where you start, and it's just practice. And if you love it, it doesn't feel like practice. And you just, read lots of cookbooks. Instagram is great, but just start small.
That's so great. I can relate to Ariana. I would be more like Ariana in that situation. I'm not great with decorating cupcakes, but you're more like Jessica. You may not know this about Ashley, but you're a really good cook and you're really good at presentation as well. So I think you do well at that.
I love decorating cakes. I used to do that a lot when years ago, but I should get back into that because like she said, if you love it, it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Jessica Brennan will be competing against 40 other cake makers from across the country for a $50,000 cash prize.
Yes, impressive. So the show starts tonight on CTV. Good luck.
Well, it's Friday, so let's find out who's celebrating. Congratulations to Adrian and Bernadette Power of Chapel Arm, who are celebrating their 66th anniversary. Happy 65th anniversary to Cyril and Jeanette Atwood of St. John's. Happy anniversary to John and Linda Keeping of Burnt Islands. They've been together for 58 years. Happy 50th wedding anniversary to Leslie and Diane Butt of Carboneer. Happy anniversary to John and Glenda Baker. They're celebrating 51 years of marriage. Wishing Mary and Brian Johnston of St. John's a happy 50th anniversary today. Congratulations to Bob and Nellie Smith of Dildo, who are also celebrating their 50th anniversary today. Happy anniversary to Ray and Ivy Clark of 80 Town, who are celebrating their 62nd anniversary tomorrow. Wishing Louis and Elsie Rose of Hermitage a very happy 50th anniversary. Happy 56th anniversary tomorrow to Walter and Eileen LeDrew of Traytown. Congratulations to Fred and Helen Maynard of Corner Brook, who are celebrating their 56th anniversary. Now to some birthdays. Happy 95th birthday to Geraldine Sweetapple of Glovertown. Wishing Mildred Scanes a happy 91st birthday. Lots of love from your family in Ottawa. Happy 97th birthday to Bert Keats, who's living in Clarenville. Birthday greetings going out to Francis Hurley of Badger, who just turned 97. Wishing Victoria Lear of Gander a very happy 90th birthday. Birthday wishes going out to Mabel LeDrew in St. John's, who's celebrating her 94th birthday today. Happy birthday to Jim Dix of Harbor Grace. He's celebrating his 94th birthday. Happy 92nd birthday to Christine Tobin of St. John's. Wishing Daisy Colburn of Lewisport a very happy 92nd birthday. And it's a 93rd birthday for Florence Blunden, who's living in Clarenville. And best wishes to Ernest Reed of Corner Brook, who's turning 92. And here's an impressive birthday, wishing Rita Maddock a very happy 103rd birthday. Another fine crowd. Congratulations once again. So, yeah, some nice weather coming though. Yeah, some wintry weather also. I'm really enjoying your citrus shirt because it reminds me kind of of summer.
Well, we have to find it somewhere, I guess. Yeah, temperature's not overly impressive, but as we head towards the end of the weekend, here at the metro area anyway, we're looking at 17 degrees. So not too bad for your Sunday. However, things are going to change as we head through the end of the weekend. Let's take a look at the future tracker just to show you kind of what's going on now. Keep in mind, this is very early, and we're talking about temperatures, you know, going to be teens on the weekend and then dropping like a rock as we head into Sunday. So, you know, surfaces are fairly warm. How much snow actually falls is still what needs to be determined, and really what happens with this area of low pressure. So it looks like some cold air will wrap around it. Things will change over to snow as we get into the early half of Monday, overnight into first half of Monday, where this low ends up. And where exactly we see the heaviest snow is what needs to be determined at this point. But right now, this model showing that some snow is certainly possible through parts of central, northern peninsula, and even southeastern Labrador as we head through the day on Monday. Now again, how far east that tracks still needs to be determined, but at this point it does look like it will be just rain for the Avalon. Now, how much are we talking? Likely less than 15 centimeters. We could see some areas, especially up across southeastern portions of Labrador, that may see a little bit more than that. But at this point, that's what's looking like. The other thing to note with this one is the winds are really going to ramp up. As we head into Monday morning, winds gusting between 60 and 80 kilometers per hour. So if that's combined with that snow, we will see some pretty wintry conditions through the afternoon. That will happen through central as well. That wind will shift a little bit further east as we head into Monday evening and then eventually taper off, which will be nice as far as those winds are concerned. Temperatures on Monday will be cool, especially for the northern peninsula through central, hence that potential for some snow. But 3, 4, 5 degrees through the day, a little warmer as you head a bit further east, which is why I think this will stay as rain. And then up across Labrador, another beautiful afternoon expected in Lab City, 18 degrees through the afternoon on Monday. Temperatures a little cooler as you head towards the strait, and this is the clearing trend that you will see after the snow. Long range forecast looking not nice. Single digits, and the chance of some showers and drizzle right through to next week, the middle of next week really. And then for central and western Newfoundland, you're looking finally at a warm up by the time we get into Wednesday. So teens will return with some sunshine, but it'll take a little while to get there. Take a look at these temperatures in eastern Labrador. 19, 23 degrees by Wednesday, and cracking potentially 25 in western Labrador as you see that sunshine there. So that's where you're going to find summer over the next little bit, that's for sure. Now this shot is a beautiful iceberg photo. This one sent to us by Georgina Parsons. This is an iceberg near Long Island. And yeah, great shot there. Thank you so much for that. If you have any weather photos, send them to Facebook, Twitter, but the best place is to email them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Lovely shot. Thank you, Georgina. And I feel like I said this very recently, but I think we should all go to Labrador because that's where the nicest weather has been.
A couple weeks ago you said that. It's a good idea.
Amazing Nain was the hot spot today. That doesn't happen too often. Not at all. Well, that's it for us today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good night.